Just want to introduce Tyler Cuppins with Tyco Plumbing. If you could, just tell us a little bit about how your career got started and how long you've been in the industry.
Yeah. So we got started like going on 15 years ago. Father-in-law was a plumber, brother-in-law, uncle-in-law, plumber, kind of got me into the trades. Started out at a big company, and then about 9 years ago, started Tyco Plumbing and a lot of residential service and remodels and additions and things like that.
Awesome, awesome. That kind of leads us right into the next question, which is for you and your company. Most of the questions I'll ask are going to be kind of more generic because we want to, answer the questions maybe not everyone's asking
Sure.
their plumber, but for you guys in particular, what kind of projects do you guys specialize in?
Um, so lately, we've been doing quite a bit of residential remodels, additions, getting into some of the nicer, higher end fixtures that you guys carry. Yeah, a lot of residential service remodels. So we kind of have a few of our guys that are dedicated just to the service side of things, a few guys that are kind of doing the remodels, the additions, with a high focus on just quality control, good communication, and taking care of our customers.
I love it. What are the most common like plumbing issues that you encounter when you get to a job site, whether it's because someone poorly planned or just generic problems that seems like you have every single time you go?
I would say not having a good fixture list set aside at the beginning of the project, so we know what we're going to be installing. Do we have all the rough-in valves there so we can actually be efficient when we get to the project?
That makes a ton of sense. Um, are there code issues that you run into more often than not that somebody should be aware of when they're creating a design for a space?
Yeah, I would say we run into things where you want to put some sort of plumbing in an exterior wall, which is obviously more susceptible to freezing and having issues. So we try to avoid things like that. Floor joists being in awkward locations that prevent us installing the plumbing code compliantly. Those are the big issues that we run into.
Um, Also makes sense. Um, how often, or more like maybe how soon, do you want to be included in a project as far as the planning goes, so that you feel like you're going to be able to confidently get the whole job complete?
Yeah, I mean, really, as soon as we have a good set of plans, we know where ideally the designer wants things to be. If we can go meet at the project, take a look at things, and kind of map out a lot of things we can see from the basement, from a crawl space, from somewhere else that help us identify if this project is feasible to do. So the earlier in the project that we can get there, the better. And then that way, when we all start the project, it's as effective as possible, and there's no hiccups that we're running into.
That makes sense. Um, would you like to see, um, as you've been doing high end fixtures and seeing all of those kind of things, is there anything that somebody should be aware of when we're talking about smart toilets or smart bathtubs, or a lot of people are starting to put saunas and steam in
Yeah.
their spaces? Is there anything that people wouldn't normally think of that they should be thinking about ahead of time?
I would say the biggest thing is just making sure we're prepared for it, right? So if we know the fixtures that are going to be going in, I feel confident we can install the majority of any plumbing fixtures out there as long as we can prepare adequately for that. So having all those fixtures set aside, ready to go, and we can plan for it is the best success that we can have.
Um, I think from my side, just because it's something that we do, that would be always ideal. Is just having you guys involved earlier the better, because it
Yeah,
feels like a lot of times, even though we're the experts at what we're selling, we don't know what the job site's going to look like, and
right.
so having you guys giving us the feedback that we need is always ideal.
Sure.
Are there any examples of designs that you see people attempting that probably aren't a good idea? I think I just might have heard one of putting fixtures or plumbing on an exterior wall. Is there other things like that that might be not ideal that you see people trying to do, and it's a hard conversation with a homeowner or with a designer?
Yeah, I think sometimes we run into an aspect where it's a very small bathroom, a small shower, and you're trying to cram all these, 18 shower heads and rain cans and body sprays in this tiny little wall with a huge niche and just doesn't physically work. Again, going through that plans at the beginning of it, if we can meet with the designer, meet with the contractor, kind of get a general layout of what it is, then we can give our expertise after we have that information as well.
That makes sense. What's I'm trying to word this the right way. What would be the ripple effect that you see with late product changes or delayed deliveries on a project?
Really just delaying the entire project in general, right? We have a tight schedule that we try to keep. We want to be, again, as efficient as possible. So when we schedule our team to go out there, our goal is to get it done in a quick manner. And if we find out the day that we get there that, hey, we're missing parts, the homeowner decided to change up the faucet, the fixture, change the layout, it just delays and delays and delays the project. Ultimately, not giving the best service that the customer should have in general.
That is very true from our standpoint as well. If you could tell every one of your customers, in our case, usually a designer, one thing before they begin a project, what would it be?
I think again, I feel like I go back to it time and time again, but just plan it out. Let us be there. Let us be a part of some of that initial phases to make sure that some of these things are feasible. Do we have properly sized water lines and drain lines? Is this going to spiral into a much larger project? And again, a lot of those things we can identify just by doing a quick walkthrough of the house. So get us involved early so we can plan and prepare and ultimately deliver the best level of service.
Awesome. We kind of had a common theme that the sooner you're involved, the better off a project's going to go.
Sure.
And as I was thinking about that, if I'm somebody that's paying the bills in that scenario, my concern is involving any contractors a little bit earlier might end up costing more money. So I just wanted to ask you, as in the industry, is it going to cost more money by involving you earlier in the process?
So I would actually say the opposite. I think it would end up saving you money long term. If we can get there at the beginning stages of things, help map things out, even if there is a very small charge, industry wide, a lot of trip charges and diagnostic things. Even if you do have to pay that up front to have a licensed plumber there to properly evaluate everything and give you those answers at the beginning stages is probably going to save you, potentially thousands at the end of the project if you know you can actually execute it.
Where is the best place for somebody to find your company?
Yeah, so we're all over social media. Obviously, Google runs the show, tycoplumbing.com or tycoplumbingco.com. But yeah, you can pretty much find us anywhere.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.